In this video today, what am I doing? In this video today, I just got so excited. So let's try this again. In this video today, we're going to discuss killing old narratives and tropes. Also, we're going to discuss disturbing trends, some things that may be good, may not be good for the outcome of tomorrow's Houston Baltimore Ravens game. We'll also take a look at who I think will be an X factor in this game and may turn the tide for one team or another. And finally, if and when the Ravens win, who do they face between Kansas City and Buffalo? Which team will we be facing in the AFC Championship? Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, let's get ready to rumble. So we are less than 24 hours away from the divisional playoff game between the Houston Texans and the Baltimore Ravens. And there have been a lot of people that have chimed in this week, giving their perspective on what they think is going to happen, how they think that this game is going to go down. Now, for the year, they've given the Baltimore Ravens their praise. They've sung the song that Lamar Jackson is the best player in the NFL, but yet and still there are some doubters out there that believe the Ravens aren't going to get it done. Now, to me, yes, revisionist history, some things didn't look so good, but Lamar Jackson has a different look in his eye. He's carrying himself on another level, and I think everyone sees that. But of course, you're going to have people that are going to say, hey, but Lamar Jackson has a 1-3 playoff record throughout his career. And what about CJ Stroud? What about Jordan Love? In one postseason, they have the same amount of wins that Lamar Jackson does. And the one thing that I say is, it's a team game. It is not all on one person. If you aren't a Ravens fan, you don't know what happened in those other games. And a lot of times, it really wasn't Lamar's fault. There are so many factors that went into those games and why Lamar didn't win, just like there were factors in the Cleveland game that Houston won, or the Dallas game that Green Bay won. But we'll leave that here for now. Just know that by the end of this postseason, Lamar will have more wins than both of them combined. And I know that there are people saying, hey, CJ Stroud is really hot right now. Like, he is on a heater. He's out there just lighting people up. But let's not forget, he's played the Ravens and we kind of shut him down. And I know they're going to say, hey, this is a different team, a different mode. Listen, we've got experience now. So do we. So do we. And one other thing that we have that is going to be a factor is it's not going to be a pretty sunny day in Baltimore. I was just outside and it is still snowing. I don't know how them Dome boys are going to acclimate themselves and play in this type weather, but I know we're ready for it. We've been playing through this for years. We have players that are battle tested and have played in cold weather cities. That is one thing that I don't think that people are paying enough attention to, is the weather and the conditions. You can simulate certain things, but you can't simulate snow. You can't be in a dome and simulate 15-degree weather with the wind gusts. So I think that gives us an advantage. I think that the playoff experience that some of these players have gives us an advantage. I think the 5 guys who have won a Super Bowl on this team gives us an advantage. And we have an experienced quarterback. Listen, you don't know what you don't know as a rookie. You didn't know that you weren't supposed to go and win with Cleveland, but they were a horrible road team. This is something different.
This is Baltimore!
You're coming back to Baltimore with a team that already beat you, and we were not at our best. Not to say Houston doesn't have a chance, but like I said, Lamar is on a different level. He's functioning at a different level right now. His last game, he threw 5 touchdowns. The first time he played this season against Houston, he had 179 yards passing, 38 yards rushing. Not Lamar numbers by any means. And I think he's hit his groove now. Now, the only question is, will the rust be a factor? Because he has not played since week 17. It's almost 3 weeks. So that may be the only thing, the timing of it all, that could be the only component that slows this team down. But I can, with 100% certainty, minus 15, say that the Baltimore Ravens are going to win this matchup unequivocally. I spoke it into existence. I told y'all. You speak it in the air, it shall be. The Baltimore Ravens will win. And I don't care what you put in the comment section, it's not going to happen. I've already ordained it as such. The Baltimore Ravens will go to the AFC Championship game, which is conversely here in Baltimore as well. So Houston, you've had a wonderful season. Better luck next year. Now, along with the good sometimes there comes the bad. There have been some trends associated with this playoff matchup and our Baltimore Ravens. One good, some not so good. The good, we'll start with that, is the Ravens have become the 4th NFL team to have a first-team All-Pro quarterback, ranked #1 in rushing offense and ranked #1 in scoring defense. They are the 4th team in NFL history to do this, along with the 1972 Dolphins, the 1978 Steelers, and the 1996 Green Bay Packers. Now, all 3 of those prior teams won the Super Bowl, so that is in our favor. Like, every time someone has accomplished this, and the NFL is 104 years old, 103 years old, and it's only happened 3 times prior. So all 3 times that team has won a Super Bowl. So this is a good omen for us. Now, the bad part about it is they could become the first team to lose, the first team to accomplish all of these great things and lose. They could also become the first team since the NFL merger to lose a playoff game when they have a plus 200 point differential. So they could become the first team to do this twice. This happened the first time in 2019 when they had a plus 249 point differential that they outscored their opponents, lost in the first round of the playoffs. And then the second time would be this season. They are plus 203. So if they lose this game, they could become the first team to lose twice and have a plus 200 point differential in the season. So that means they're dominating during the season, but come postseason, they're laying duds. The Ravens could also become the first team in NFL history to lose their opening playoff game with 14 wins and having done that twice if they were to lose tomorrow. We know they're not, so these are 2 parts of history that we are going to avoid like the plague. And another thing is, and this would not even be funny because if it were to happen, I think the media and fans would come at Lamar mercilessly, even though it really doesn't mean much to him. But if Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens lose this game tomorrow, Lamar would have, if he wins the MVP trophy, he would have more MVPs than he does playoff wins. And no one has ever done that in the NFL. That would be something. 2 MVPs, 1 playoff win. So the Ravens have to win tomorrow. That's why I have such confidence in this team. Like, we have so much more on the line than just getting to a Super Bowl. We have history and legacy to rewrite. But conversely, on the other side, if the Houston Texans do defeat the Baltimore Ravens, CJ Stroud will become the first quarterback since 1999. Former Raven, former Titan Steve McNair also accomplished this feat where he would be the 2nd quarterback to defeat the #1 overall defense and the #1 overall scoring defense in the same postseason. That in itself is a heck of a feat. I'm not going to hold you. But for him to come in here and put up points against this team, I don't see it happening. Not to say that it couldn't, I just don't see that happening. But once again, in less than 24 hours, we're going to find out. Like, I feel like 50 Cent, like I'm patiently waiting. But time is not going by fast enough. So going back to the game, I'm going to talk about the person that I feel is going to be my X factor coming into this game. Now, I know if you watch Lunch Break Hot Take, we've had this. If you watch my show or you watch other shows, you've heard us discuss who some of the X factors are leading into this game. At first, I thought it was going to be the wide receivers, but now I'm changing my mind. My X factor now is going to be Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook is the X factor to me because he was the one guy that did not play in that week 1 matchup versus the Texans. And I think he's going to add an extra dimension that we've been missing since Keaton Mitchell went down. Now, I know some of you are like, oh, it's Dalvin Cook. He didn't do anything in New York with the Jets. And that possibly may be true. Like, he had, 67 rushes for 214 yards at a 3.2 yard clip. He did not do much, but that's the New York Jets. This is the Baltimore Ravens. We are the #1 rush team in the NFL without him. So imagine if we take a talent like that and use him and utilize him out the backfield, not just running the ball and catching the ball. I think this is a mismatch waiting to happen because the Texans don't have any tape on him. Even if he's not the player that he was, the Texans do not have tape on Dalvin Cook with the Baltimore Ravens. So they have nothing to scout, no plays. They don't know what's going to happen. This is going to be a factor that's just going to be coming out of left field. They're not going to see what's coming. And the news that we've gotten today, we may need this X factor because it has been reported that Mark Andrews may not and probably won't play tomorrow. Like, I don't think that he's all the way back. He's physically ready. He may be cleared medically, but I don't think that it's worth bringing him in, risking further injury if he's not capable of being as close to 100% as he could be. Also, Marlon Humphrey's been ruled out of this game already, which is disturbing to me because this is what we need him for. This is why we paid him almost $100 million. We needed him for these moments right here. Hopefully, we don't need him and can get past Houston and have kind of an easy win. That way we can sit some people so no one else gets hurt, because we don't know what his status is going to be for next week if we advance to the AFC Championship game. Rest easy and sit back and watch what Dalvin Cook is going to do, especially in this inclement weather. Hopefully, unlike years past, we take advantage of bad weather. In bad weather, you run the ball. I understand you have to pass, but run the ball. This is what's gotten us in trouble in past playoff games. We try to go out here and get cute. So being minus some weapons, being minus some defensive players that'll help stop that team, do what you are best at, and that's running the ball. #1 run team in the league, as we have been for some time. Stick to what you know, stick to your strengths, and we will see you at the AFC Championship game in Baltimore. Baltimore. Last but not least, the other game going on in the AFC is the Kansas City Chiefs taking on the Buffalo Bills up in Orchard Park, New York. Now, this is the first for Patrick Mahomes where he has to travel for a playoff game. The last 5 seasons, every playoff game has been at Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City. We don't know what to expect. This, to me, should be an extremely good game, but there are some injuries on the defensive side for Buffalo. Tre'Davious White, Matt Milano, a lot of those guys are out, and now Gabe Davis is not playing. The same Gabe Davis who against Kansas City a few seasons back had the 4-touchdown game. So he's not going to be playing. That's going to take away a weapon from Buffalo. But apparently, Kansas City wide receivers have not played all season long. So that kind of evens the playing field. But more importantly, who cares? Baltimore's going to beat whatever team you put in front of them and advance to the Super Bowl. This is my word. This is my proclamation. And you've heard it here first. Well, maybe not here first, but you've heard it here today. I'm claiming it right now. Baltimore Ravens beat Houston Texans, go on and beat whichever team decides to show up against us, and then we go to the Super Bowl and beat the Lions or the Packers. Simple as that. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Easy money. That's it for this edition of the RouG Pod. Make sure you come back to get all of your Ravens news and news on the NFL. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe on your way out. Make sure you share this video, hit the notification bell so you are aware when I come out with new videos. Because like I said before, when we win this game tomorrow, it's going to get obnoxiously uncomfortable. These videos are going to be coming at you hot and fast, like a Little Caesars pizza. So I hope you're hot and ready. Like I said, it's going to be a video for you, and you. Until next time, boy, I'm out.